First thing, I'll go with strategy. My first strategy would be, the opening pairs. They look solid, but we have seen in every game what best of the teams, if they lose early wickets in those first 6 overs, then they're just gone. Yesterday we saw the same thing with RCB. They're one of the strongest batting lineup, but they lost three quick wickets in the power play, and it was Virat Kohli who looked helpless. So I think I'll go attack them.
Wait. Don't scroll down so soon because you arrived at the right place for the right discussion. All you IPLians, I must call you all, because I'm sure there's one question that is triggering all of you. Is Delhi Capitals the best team in the IPL? Well, I've got some great cricket experts who know the game inside out. I'm going to call them on the show. So let's bring in the three Durandars, as I call them, of cricket. I've got Boria, Rajashri, and Pragyan right here with me. Gentlemen, we've got a team that has been making headlines, and we've got a team that has dethroned the Mumbai Indians very recently of the top position of the IPL standings. So I'll start with you, Pragyan. Is Delhi Capitals the team to beat?
Yes, definitely. The noise that they're making are very positive. The captain is cool. I've been seeing his game. The way he's leading his team, the changes that he's making. I think he doesn't look that he's inexperienced. So he's got a very good plan. And when you have two quality fast bowlers in your team, always clocking 145, 150, then I think you just have to flex your muscles.
Indeed. Well, Delhi Capitals for sure is putting up an all-round effort. Boria, is this the team you're going to see in the finals?
I think so. I absolutely think so. I've said it on our India Today television show as well. You know why? Because they have the best backup. And IPL is a tournament, 45 days, people will get injured. You've seen that with Amit Mishra. You've seen that with Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. You've seen that with many others. You've seen that with other teams as well, Mitchell Marsh. Now, did you feel the absence of Amit Mishra? The answer is no. Akshar Patel fitted in seamlessly. If you just take a look at Delhi Capitals and compare with some of the other teams, take Chennai. You take out Faf du Plessis and Shane Watson and MS Dhoni, they're done, dead, finished. If you take out, David Warner from that Sunrisers Hyderabad, they are good and dusted. If you take out Virat Kohli from Royal Challengers Bangalore, they are good and dusted. If you take out KL Rahul from Kings 11 along with Mayank Agarwal, they are good and dusted. Take out a couple of players from Delhi. Take out Shimron Hetmyer, who comes in, Alex Carey, one of the best wicketkeeper batsmen in the world. You take out anyone, you name it. You take out Ravichandran Ashwin, who came in, Amit Mishra. So they have backups for every place. Prithvi Shaw. The other day, Prithvi Shaw got injured, right, on his foot. All of us thought, oh Lord, what will happen to the Delhi Capitals? Who's sitting out? Ajinkya Rahane, for God's sake. People will give an arm and a leg to have Ajinkya Rahane in that team. That is why I say, Ridhima, Delhi Capitals is the team to beat. And I will be very surprised. And I was speaking to their team owner, Parth Jindal, who I will get on Sports Today very shortly. I've told him, if you do not win with this team, then it is very tough. When will you win?
Well, Delhi Capitals for sure, like we were also mentioning in the preview that we had built up for this particular matchup between RCB and DC, that DC has a lot of depth. Now, Rajashri, we, of course, Boria touched upon the fact that how every player has a backup. We've got a backup at every position for DC. Now, for you, what is that one factor which is sticking for DC at the moment?
I think the Iyer Ponting combination. I mean, if you look back at 2018, when they had to get a change in leadership, and who would have thought, 2 years down the line, we are talking of Delhi Capitals as potential finalists. And, I would be very disappointed. Anything can happen in this game. I would be very disappointed if in a month's time, these guys are not at least in the finals or even probably lifting the trophy. A lot of things are working, Ridhima, like both Boria and Pragyan said. They have backups for every possible option. Right, so Amit Mishra wasn't quite missed. Akshar Patel bowled beautifully, and he was bowling at a very critical phase when Virat Kohli had to look and explore. I know we had a lot of discussions where Harshal was bowling those overs, and we were wondering whether they should have gone for the kill. But it was brilliant captaincy from Iyer also. Look at it this way. A lot of teams, a lot of batsmen in the capacity, batsmen like Virat Kohli, they'd want to explode in the later stages of the innings. But when you were left with 102 runs to chase of 6 overs, who do you have? 3 of those overs were coming from Kagiso Rabada. I believe Ashwin had 2 overs left, and Neuer had 1 or 2 overs left. So for the later 6.5, 6, 7 overs, you had at least 5 to 6 overs from who? Rabada, Ashwin, and Neuer. How many teams in this IPL can boast of potentially that kind of death over? Shreyas Iyer's captaincy has been spot on. Yes, Harshal was expensive, but he was the weakest link in the bowling attack. If you look at the bowling attack, he was the weakest link. And when do you get him? When Virat Kohli was trying to build his innings up. And he, not just the RCB game, if you look back throughout, the way he has used Marcus Stoinis, for instance, his captaincy has been spot on. Young guy, we have talked about how he could be potentially in the leadership group for the Indian team. His captaincy, his combination with Ponting has worked wonders. Apart from the fact that they have terrific backup players for each character in the team. It's a splendid team.
Indeed, you've touched on a lot of points. The weakling, the captaincy of Shreyas Iyer, Pragyan. If you were the captain and you had to exploit a weakling in DC, what would it be? What are the teams really eyeing for to exploit in DC?
I think first thing I'll go with strategy. My first strategy would be, the opening pairs. They look solid, but we have seen in every game what best of the teams, if they lose early wickets in those first 6 overs, then they're just gone. Yesterday we saw the same thing with RCB. They're one of the strongest batting lineup, but they lost 3 quick wickets in the power play, and it was Virat Kohli who looked helpless. So I think I'll go attack them, and as we were talking about the weak links, I'll go after Harshal Patel and Akshar Patel, because these two guys have not settled in. Akshar has bowled well, but you can just put pressure on him because he was not in the mix, because he was just in and out. So I think these are the two weak links. I'll go after them, and quick wickets against a very good side. When we're talking about Delhi Capitals.
Indeed. So, gentlemen, I've already asked Borja this question, but I'm going to ask Rajashri and Pragyan. Quick predictions, and too early in the day. Is DC the team in the finals for sure? Rajashri, you first. Yeah, please go ahead, Pragyan. Sorry.
I was saying, like, finals is very tough to say, but playoffs for sure. After that, the way they handle themselves, the way they handle the pressure, it depends on that. Playoffs for sure. If they don't qualify for the playoffs, I'll be surprised. But finals is something, you have to play, how you handle the pressure well. That will show how well you go up.
Right. What about you, Rajashri?
Pragyan is absolutely right, but he's spoken like a true champion, a true cricketer who's played there. He's been in the game. But I am a storyteller. I like telling stories. I like recalling stories. So I would go back to what I said. 2018. Look at Delhi. They were in the dumps. 2 years later, we are talking about them being potential finalists. Pragyan is right again. We'd be very surprised if they don't reach the playoffs. But for me, a storyteller, I would hope on the 10th of November, Shreyas Iyer is picking up the trophy. And we're talking and discussing and dissecting this team. A great blend of youth and experience and how they've done it. It's going to be a remarkable story. Didima, mark my words, when this happens, there'll be a lot of stories to tell. And the first guy who would come up with those stories is Borja, because he has also been following the progress. He will tell us a lot of stories of how they struggled and how, don't forget Saurav's mentoring as well. They've had a great leadership group. And with Ponting coming in, settling in, his aggression is also coming to the fore. His aggression is also coming and showing what this team is all about.
Right. Well, I just hope that this particular story has a happy ending. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining in. Thank you so much for watching. Well, Delhi Capitals, too strong and too good to be true. Is there going to be a team that has been able to beat them? We'll find out. It's a long season ahead.